What's going on, everybody? Angry Sarge back to tell you how I maintain and clean my duty weapon and a test that I did with it, which is going to be, I guess for some of y'all, maybe unbelievable, but we'll see. First, I want to give a shout out to Aegis Gun Care for their cleaning supplies, them being an awesome company, supporting me, supporting my brand, supporting my mission to get good stuff out to people. Another company I'd like to shout out is Hot Brass Clothing for this awesome hat. Yes, I did pay for it, but I met them at Pew Party 3 and I saw a black version of this, and I know it's hard to tell, but this is a multicam black version of this hat with this patch on it. And that's what I wanted. So I had to order this specifically on their website, and I was proud to support these guys because it's neat. Like, this is an actual cartridge. It's not a split case. It's an actual case they put into the bill of the hat. So it's just something different. And it's veteran owned. Of course, I'm going to support those guys because I'm one myself. And I want companies like that to succeed. So if I can help them out by, ordering a hat or something like that, then that's good to me. So let's get into what we're here for. We're here to talk about this fancy thing right here. It's a Glock 17 Gen 5 TLR1 Holosun 508T Magwell night sight suppressor height, and the Strike Industries Magwell, as well as an OEM extended slide release. That's the only true modification that I've done to this, as far as changing out real parts and stuff like that. Everything else is stock in this. I've polished the parts, which makes it awesome. And I'm also going to show you a little trick that I use to maintain my light, because you get carbon buildup and stuff like that. I'm going to show you a little trick that you can throw in your little range kit to mitigate that and make it easy for cleanup and stuff like that. Also, I fired 5,000 rounds through this over the last couple years that I've owned this pistol and carried it on duty. I've shot bulk brass, I've shot duty ammo as far as plus Ps, stuff like that, and steel case. And I think I've shot about 1,000 rounds of steel case through this, a case of Tula, just because I want to make sure that it's going to run anything if I pick something up out in the field and I need to run it. Battlefield pickups are real, just saying. So to caveat on this, with that 5,000 rounds, I have not done a true cleaning of this weapon at all. I haven't. I've used the lube to keep it oiled up so it functions. I will say the one thing I have done is touch a rag on that feed ramp. I would just wipe it off occasionally just to make sure there's no real buildup and I don't have to worry about this going down on me and not feeding my ammo if I have to use this in a critical situation on duty. So gotta remember, this is a critical tool for me, and I gotta make sure that it works, it functions, and it's gonna do what it needs to do. So yesterday when I went to the range, I fired 500 rounds, about 300 of the Tula and 200 of the Magtech brass. And did I have issues? Yes, I do have issues, but it's always with the steel case. And it's either the magazine is not feeding it correctly, because I use P-mags for the range, because if I'm going to have a malfunction, I'd rather have it in a P-mag because it's going to give me another rep of getting that gun back into the fight. So that's important when you're training, right? So I had, I think, maybe 10 total of the steel case. Most of them were from mag feed issues, and they weren't feeding correctly. I think I had maybe 2 of them that just wouldn't go in, and you just had to slap and let it go because it locked up. and then it just fed right in. So that's it, man. So today we're going to clean this thing. I'm going to show you everything that I use to maintain it, as far as showing, you know, the company that I use, their lube, their grease, their cleaner, and then just some of the tips and tricks that I use to maintain this thing. So on that, I say we get into it. Alright, we're here at the tabletop. Let's get ready to tear this thing down. I will say that I cannot do this on YouTube, so if you want something like that, I'll have to find a different platform to go on to do it. Maybe Twitter X or whatever it's called, or maybe Instagram if they don't boot me. Who knows? But if that's something you'd like, leave a comment below and let me know that's something you want, and I'll figure out a way to get it done. So on that, let's make some magic, shall we? And just like that, we have a broken down firearm with a little bit of movie magic and some, I don't know, ingenuity, I guess, maybe some forward thinking. I don't know, we'll figure out what to call it. But I do want to show you what I use to clean and maintain and add and all that stuff, and I'll show you them right now. Alright, so chapstick. You're going to see what that's about. Why chapstick? Just hold that thought. So we got chapstick, we got some Aegis Gun Care lubricant, definitely one of my favorites, the cleaner. We got some lithium grease from Aegis. And let's talk about some of the tools. Q-tips are a must, let me tell you. Q-tips, some 9mm bore brushes, or bore swab, should I say? Maybe a bore swab, because I don't use a bore brush. I use this fancy thing, bore snake. It's one of my favorites. It's definitely something that I use, and if I need it, just a little brush. So these are all the things that I use when I clean, lube, maintain, all that fancy stuff. So, well, let's get into it. So my light has a little bit of stuff on it. So what I like to do is I like to take an old t-shirt, and this is an old Army t-shirt, what we used to wear way back in the day when we were wearing BDUs and DCUs. So I just take it, wipe off my stuff. And look at this. I just wiped it off. And I'll tell you the secret, which you've already seen it, you just probably never thought of it, okay? So even up here is this chapstick. Put just a very thin film on here. Every time I shoot, I just wipe it off, add a little bit, and that's it. It's really simple, easy, something you can carry in your kit, which this is a pretty neat little thing. I'm going to open it up and throw it in my range bag, because I can also pair it with this chapstick. I have a couple rolls of chapstick, tubes, whatever we're going to call them. But this right here, all of this is crucial to have in your range bag if you're going to go out and train, all that stuff you need to clean. You know, some simple tools for breakdown, stuff like that, but I'm telling you, it's really easy to maintain your stuff. And it's silly stuff like this. Like, just put a dab in the center, like that. Got it on there, you can see it. Close it up, rub it in. That's it. See how easy that is? And it doesn't do too bad. Still able to get a good hot spot and all that stuff in it, so not too bad. Just throw a little bit of that on there, and that's it. That's how you maintain that. Keeps it easy. All your weapon lights, including your rifle lights, it's a good thing to have. So Next, what I like to do is wipe down everything. That's it. Simple wipe down, get all the excess lube off of it. Like this trigger housing had some extra lube on it. So we want to make sure that all of that's off. And you'll see inside here, the trigger housing gets dirty in there. So that's what Q-tips are for. That's what pipe cleaners are for. All that stuff. So because it's polished, the carbon really doesn't stick to it. It's crazy. Trigger's got some buildup. I mean, this is 2 years worth of dirt and being carried in a holster, being shot. Gets nasty. Getting these nice and polished really helps out a lot in keeping all the carbon off. So in essence, I'm kind of cheating, but like I said, Aegis Gun Care really helped maintain this firearm for a while. And polishing the feed ramp is very helpful too. Usually I'll polish that feed ramp and then kind of hit just a little bit inside here. That way it's smooth loading in. So like the slide, I don't know if you see the brim marks from the holster and all that stuff. It gets nasty in here, really nasty. So this is why I think I'm gonna trade this out, because it gets a lot of dirt and stuff like that inside here, especially when it rains. You'll get water drops and stuff in your screen. I really want to go with an enclosed optic. I just don't know what I'm going to use yet, because there's so many out there. You've got the Aimpoint Acro, you got the Trigicon. I'm not really looking at the RCR, I think is what it's called, but there's things out there like the Steiner NPS. You got the EPS from Holosun, 509T. I mean, there's other enclosed optics like the Swamp Fox Kraken. I'm not really sure if that, until I do some testing, if that's going to be good enough to handle it in there. Wow, you see that? Rainbow. That's pretty neat. That's cool. You can see it on the camera too. Sorry. Got a little sidetrack, squirrel. Alright. These are my witness marks. It's held 0. It stayed mounted. Shoots like a top. Like, very accurate as far as putting that dot on target and hitting where you want to hit. So I like Holosun. I know some people are, oh, they don't belong on duty weapons, but there's a PD that's close to me that you either get the Trijicon RMR or you get the Holosun 508T or 509T. Those are the only optics you can use on your duty weapons. So having used this for the time that I've had it and the 2 years on duty, I think it's a good optic, but like I said, an enclosed optic I think is going to benefit me more because I don't have to worry about dirt being trapped inside where the lens is and all that stuff. I'll throw everything on here, move it up, soak it. Wipe it off. If it needs to be scrubbed, I'll scrub it. If it doesn't, then I won't worry about it. Most of the time that cleaner does a really good job at getting in there and breaking everything up to where you can just wipe it off. And that's what I love about it. It's simple, it's easy, you don't have to do a whole lot of crazy to maintain your firearm. It works. Let that sit and we'll fast forward. Alright, let's wipe this stuff down. This stuff comes off like nothing. Super shiny. That's why I say polishing your parts is the way. It's a little MGB trick. Now I will say, doing this, I don't recommend that you do this test that I did. Okay, especially if you carry this thing for duty or it's your primary pistol that's going to keep you safe and all that stuff. I don't recommend you do it. I was pretty confident in the fact that if something did happen, it was going to happen on the range, I would hope, and not out on duty. I didn't anticipate getting into a gunfight or anything like that. Of course, I didn't anticipate that the first time I got in one, but I wasn't really expecting that to be the case, so I was pretty confident this was going to function and do what it was supposed to do. It just took me a really long time to get 5,000 rounds in the 2 years because I didn't have too much time to go to the range and all that stuff. I stayed pretty busy at work, and I work a lot of off duty, so if you want to have nice things, you got to trade your time for money, or opposite. If you want to have more time with your family, you trade your money for time. Time for money, whatever the opposite is. So you're trading it. And that's what you got to understand is, you know, it's hard out here when you don't get paid a whole lot, and you got to work a little extra to be able to get some nice things. Especially running this channel, it hasn't been cheap. It's I'm always finding new mounts that I have to get for cameras, or new camera equipment, or I want to upgrade a firearm, or I want to do a new duty belt or anything like that. It comes out of my pocket, so it's really hard, and I have to choose what I'm going to get wisely. Alright, let that soak long enough. So I want to say something while I'm cleaning this, like going over exposure. Okay, this has been in rain. I've been soaked out there doing my job, and I've noticed that because I had the lubricant on there, which protects it from rust, I have no rust issues. The only thing that I didn't put the cleaner or the lubricant, excuse me, on is the screw for the Magwell. And I can see that there's some rust inside the screw. That's it. There's a little bit of rust on the screw head, but nowhere else. Not on my sights, none of that. Just adding that cleaner really helped it, help protect it. Or not cleaner, but the lubricant. Sorry. And I mean, like I said, I lube it. I'll wipe it off, I'll dry it off, but you know, being in inclement weather for longer periods of time can cause rust. So there's times that I wouldn't be able to wipe it down, or I'd forget about it and I'd just say, nah, I'm good, it'll be fine, it's a tool. I didn't really have any issues, so it's awesome that this lubricant protects it as well as it does. Yeah, you know, typically your sights are going to be the first thing to rust, and they did, which is awesome. Wipe this out the best I can. Probably have to go inside and do that, but yeah, some of this stuff, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like stuff kind of stuck to it, like dirt, stuff like that, because it's captured it. And that's really why I'm saying I want to go to an enclosed optic. I like this optic. It's heavy duty and it does its job, but I do have to worry about stuff getting in there, and I don't like having to worry about that. It's not something I want to worry about, especially if I need it at a particular time. What do you guys use to clean your slide? I like to use Q-tips. I'll wipe it down real good first, and then I'll hit it with Q-tips, hit the inside. Yesterday, whenever I was shooting at 500 rounds, that was probably the fastest I've had to shoot, because you only get an hour lane rental, which, because it was raining, I couldn't go out to the outdoor one and shoot longer. So I shot 500 rounds in 45 minutes, and this pistol was very, very hot. I'll just say that it's very hot. Barely nothing. So very, very happy with this product. And if you can see why, based on what I'm showing you, I think you should definitely check it out. And if you're liking what you're seeing and you really want to go check them out, Aegis Gun Care, I'll have a link in the description. And if you click that link, you can go there, use my code AngrySarge, save 10% on some cleaning items. They have kits. They have everything now. He's growing that company like crazy, which is a good thing. It's what we need, because there's big companies out there that are doing it, and that's great. And you know, you got Otis and you got other companies out there, but I like the little man. I think he's figured it out. And granted, you know, I don't use all his tools and all that stuff because I'm pretty set on what I like to use. I've been using this stuff for years, and it's really helped me clean and maintain my firearms a lot easier than just using just basic stuff. You know, look at that. It just gets this stuff out, man. Really good. So, check them out. If you like this, check them out. Get you a kit. Get you all the stuff. Get the grease, and I'll show you what the grease is good for. It's what I like to do. Something that one of my friends taught me. And I'll always be appreciative of that, because I didn't know about it until he showed me. And I know this is a really long video, but I really want you to see exactly what I do, so you can either tell me I'm an idiot and that I need to do something else, or it may help you. Like I said, I can't really show you how to break this stuff down on camera, but that's it. Look, clean, good to go. Let's check the barrel. Let's wipe all this stuff off. Let's throw it down the bore. See if you can see that. It's got some dirt and stuff in there. Some buildup. Spray it. Alright, so now that's done. Let's start putting it back together. We're going to oil it up. I'm going to show you some nice little hit points that I use, and then we'll finish her off. Okay, so here's the reason why the grease is important. So I like to take a tiny dab and put right here on this connector. Just a tiny dab will make for this trigger to move on here very, very easy. So, just hook it in. Okay, so it'll move on there real nice. So a little bit of grease, don't need a whole lot, but a little bit of grease helps. All right, let's get going. All right, we're back. Let's talk about lubrication really quickly. So I'll show you all the hot spots that I hit. This is where this stuff shines. And we're going to talk about metal on metal contact. So anything that touches metal, I want to hit. Okay, rails, this ejector, a little bit on the shark fin because it does travel across the safety plunger that's in the slide, the block, stuff like that. So let's do a drop here because the firing pin floats on that. Drop on the rail. You don't have to use a whole lot. Little goes a long way with this stuff, even though it's leaking. There we go. A little bit goes a long way. Inside, I'll run the rails. That's it. Touch, touch, and that's it. As far as the barrel, I like to make sure I get it on the hood. Yeah, it's leaking. No, get it all over the barrel. Kind of soak it, in a sense. That way it's nice and lubed. That's it. Okay. And I'll take some of this excess and I'll cover the firearm. Just hit it on a little bit of everything so that way it gets nice and coated. This is a protector. That's why you do it. And then you just wipe all the excess off. That's what I like to do. Make sure it's nice and coated. I let it sit for just a little bit. We're going to put some on this screw. See, it's all nice and wet. Now wipe it off. Wipe off the excess. Nice and pretty. Throw on my light. check. It works. Everything is good. It's put back together right. Swiped off. Alright. Let's go to the top. Alright guys, we're back to do the final, I guess, part of the video, if we want to call it that. But I just wanted to say thanks for hanging out with me for so long. And I know it was a long video, but I wanted to show you in detail what steps I take, what steps I use. I know I'm speeding up some stuff along the way because I can't show everything. So thank you for bearing with me and hanging out, learning some new stuff if you learned anything, or making something better stepwise that you do in the future. So I showed you a new little trick. I don't know if I'm the only one who does that, putting the chapstick on the lens, but that's a good way to keep it easy for cleaning and maintenance and stuff like that, especially if you get into, you know, you're shooting at the range and you don't want to use a special cleaner like I've seen to clean your lens. Simple chapstick. It's cheap, it's easy, the tube lasts a long time, so it's really simple. But yeah, got a nice clean weapon. It's ready to go, ready for duty. Again, another year or however long. I won't wait that long this time. Usually about every 1,000 rounds I clean it, because it's a Glock. It's gonna work, so I can do that unless I run some steels in it. If I'm running steels in it, I try to 500 rounds of steel is enough for me to want to clean it, but I just wanted to try it this time and do the test and see if it was going to hold up. But looks pretty, looks clean, nice. And if you liked anything as far as the Aegis Gun Care, definitely go check them out. Use code AngrySarge to save 10%. That helps me put a little dollar in my pocket, so that way I can, you know, get you guys some stuff, do some giveaways, things like that. But if you don't want to buy a whole kit, get this sample trifecta. Okay, it has the grease, the cleaner, and the lubricant in one little package. You can try it. If you like it, you can get the bigger kit. Still use the coupon code, save yourself 10%. And thank you for hanging out with me. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.